This is our channel.
Oh, shit.
So if you don't like what we post,
Haul ass.
if you don't like that we smoke,
Bitch, leave.
if you don't like that we do verses on this channel,
Get the fuck on.
this is our channel. We give it our own opinions. If you don't like our opinion, our rating, our thoughts,
Get the fuck.
and go make your own.
Shit. But you ain't. So you gonna watch us and shut the fuck up.
Welcome back. We are back with another video. We have K-pop history. It's 20 minutes. Yeah, I ain't finna fuck it up to BTS. So let's jump right to it.
There's one thing this video needs.
K-pop!
K-pop.
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 K-pop. K-pop.
K-pop.
K-pop.
K-pop.
Popular music originating in South Korea and encompassing a variety of styles. As you've seen, K-pop has grown exponentially. Everyone in the world, like it or not, must have seen a K-pop related video at least once, either if it's Gangnam Style or a BTS video or an annoying K-pop dancing meme on Twitter. But you might not be sure on what K-pop actually is and where and when it began. Well, it all comes down to a country called South Korea, a peninsula located in East Asia in between China and Japan. Korea was doing great with its kingdoms and dynasties for more than 4,000 years until 1910 to 1945 when Korea was colonized by Japan. And from 1950 to 1953, Korean War happened, splitting Korea into North and South. Then Korea was stuck in the Cold War. Due to war and all, the economy wasn't that great. Thus, the music industry wasn't that public nor diverse. Well, Korea did have music like traditional sounds or Japanese-influenced trot. 1970s, economy got a little better. Jeans, acoustic guitars, young kids enjoying life, rock, folk music happened. But still, the government doesn't like too much freedom and creativity. They want you to work. 1980s, two words, folk songs and ballads. First, Korean ballads kick in. People like these dudes make ballad really popular. Legendary dudes like Cho Young-pil pop out. Bands like Shinaway and Turgukwa pop out. People start listening to these dudes instead of these dudes. Until the 90s, Korea gets rich. No one's unemployed. People call it the miracle of Han River. Successful Olympics, CD distribution. Kids get to wear Nike shoes, buy music, go to concerts, clubs happen, dancing becomes a thing. Finally, the good old 90s arrive. Ding ding, hi, I'm K-pop. All these new genres start to bloom. Hip-hop, dance, R&B, soul, gospel, and of course the popularity of ballads and folk songs continue. Now, all these artists start writing their own songs. A lot of singer-songwriters appear like Shin Sung-woon, Lee Seung-wan, Yoon Jong-shin, Jeolame, Toy, and more. Boom, March 1992, this dude named Seo appears out of nowhere. Well, actually, he was in the aforementioned rock band Shinawi as a bassist, so in the meantime, out of nowhere. Well, actually, he was in the aforementioned March 1992, this dude named Seo appears out of nowhere. Well, actually, he was in the aforementioned rock band Shinawi as a bassist, though in the meantime, he was doing his own thing and explores the world of media music, aka electronic digital. He's also a born rebel. He looks different. His crew dances like crazy. His band Seo and Kids released an album called Yo Taeji with a title song called I Know. They just sweep all the existing awards out there. Similar groups like Deuce might be competitors, but Seo and Kids and their songs and performances change everything. Critics claim 1992 is the most important year in Korean pop music history. He destroys genres like trot, ballad, and folk music. They released 4 albums afterwards until 1996. He mixes up hip-hop and traditional music in Hayoga. He also likes techno, and even uses heavy metal rock in Classroom Idea, criticizing the Korean education system. And then the public suddenly tries to rewind the song and thinks he's Satan or gay. They keep on tackling social issues like rehabilitation, environment, drugs, education. He's basically the Tupac of K-pop. Speaking of Tupac, he even touches gangster rap in his last album titled
not only did
Come
they
Back
have
Home.
a book, man, they look heavy.
They were bullshit.
They were drooping like a second type.
Man,
Like
y'all
your
was
mama
in-
kick you out and you had to
Y'all was
put
in full carry.
everything in that one little bag.
That's crazy.
That's your runaway bag.
Like y'all just got out of school and had to perform. But y'all look older than that. So
What's he?
this
Disband. More like disappear. Poof. Yup, just like that. Leaving one message. We showed you everything we can try. Korea freaks out. Kids don't go to school. Protest. Attempt suicide. People say K-pop is dead. Well, false alarm. Seotaejeon kids might be gone, but their impact still lives. Now, listening, radio equals lame. On the other hand, watching TV, performances, dance music, choreographies, style, competition equals cool. Young teenage fans, official fan clubs, fan meetings, fanfics, Hassing fans, fan wars, capital, artist management. It was like a cult, and Seotaejeon kids were their idol. On the side, the tornado dance from I Know was the first dance choreo that went viral. Now, corporates see money in K-pop and idol businesses. Samsung, Doosan, Hyundai, LG, Daewoo, Lotte all make their own record companies and labels. Competition begins. Huge investments flow from their mother company. Ambitious scouting, projects, new market, but no system yet. Expenses overissued, no transparency, business based on few inner circle connections. Result, obviously, all gone in a few years. Big failure. But then there's DSP. The founder, Lee Ho-yeon, had some actual experience managing big artists like Taejina, Yoo-hyul, Shimshin, and Sobangcha. Sobangcha was actually close to the idol group model way before Seotaejeon Kids in 1987. However, their music was more chop-based and had very simple dances, thus not as impactful as an idol group like Seotaejeon Kids. Anyways, Lee Ho-yeon, who had the experience, makes his own label DSP in 1991. Wasn't really successful during the Seotaejeon era. Then in 1996, launches a group literally called Idol that initially had decent popularity, but gets demolished by SM Entertainment's HOT. 1996 and HOT debuts. Hardcore rap, distinct fashion, and hairstyles. Criticizing society. HOT is made by today's famous SM Entertainment. Founded by Isuman, in short, SM. Starts as SM Studio in 1989, then reforms into SM Entertainment in 1995. SM develops a systematic idol training system and earns huge success with HOT. DSP gets mad. 1997, they throw out Text Kiss. SM activates their trap card. Girl group SES debuts in December 1997. And then DSP says, well actually no, IMF says, everyone hold your fire. Korea will be entering the economic crisis. People lose jobs, businesses go bankrupt, half of the entertainment labels shut down, TV music programs get canceled. People are struggling. They're jumping off bridges, so they aren't really cool or interested about idols. Well, 1998 comes. SM be like, the show must go on. Pops out Shinhwa. DSP says, hold my beard. We present you Finkel. At this point, SM and DSP is the Marvel and DC comics of this era. HOT.
Watch NFL games live all season long.
Y'all trying,
YouTube
y'all
TV.
stole. I'm like, y'all
300
stealing
for that
already.
and 2,000 for this.
That shit right.
Well,
Okay, so first, select your favorite gaming website. Select the products you want.
Versus Text Kiss, SES versus Finkel, Shinhwa versus GOD. Well, GOD.
what? Not good. Wow.
What the fuck? That's what you do?
This era. HOT versus Text Kiss, SES versus Finkel, Shinhwa versus GOD. Well, GOD was actually produced by a third company called JYP and wasn't actually the typical dance idol group, but I'll get to that later. Each company and group shares the trophies and awards around music shows turn after turn, and of course on the way there were other groups like Baby Box, Chakra, Cleo, and talented solo artists like Yoo Seung-jun, Park Ji-yoon, Lee Jung-yeon as well. Looking back, we now call this era the first generation of K-pop. Meanwhile, you might be wondering whatever happened to Seotaejeon boys after they disbanded. I don't know about Seotaejeon himself, but one dude for sure was planning something. Yang Eun-suk, who was the rapper and dancer of Seotaejeon Boys, was trying out his talent as a producer, but was kind of unlucky in the meantime. But anyways, opened up his own company, Hyun Label, in 1996, but kind of flopped with a group called Keepsakes. Then renames his company to MF Label and launches the hip-hop duo Jinushan. Jinushan surprisingly did pretty well, even though hip-hop was pretty new. Yang Eun-suk was well known to have an influence and background in hip-hop dance and music. He was spotted in E-Tail and dancing all the time before his debut dates. So this background and success with Jinushan led him to reform his company into YG Entertainment and launched another hip-hop group called One Time. First generation of K-pop was sparked by Seotaejeon Boys. Everything got systematic, like the trainee systems and all. Groups with crazy hair, crazy fashion, and dance music. K-pop still kind of strange, new, but popular to the public. Kind of trying to imitate American pop. While corporate-backed labels died with the IMF crisis, labels with professional music background become big, like DSP, SM, and YG. It was the opening, a door to a new era, to the 21st century. Second generation begins. Wait says 1.5 gen. On the conversion to second gen, there is a transition stage. Surprisingly, a lot of solo artists who sing ballads, R&B, and groups that do ballads or rock become super popular. Song Shikyung, P-Song, Vibe, MC The Max, Buzz, The Cross, BOS, SG Wannabe. Then where'd K-pop go? Well, many talented solos were there to bridge the transition. The famous Boa, known as Asia's Star, arguably the most successful solo female K-pop artist in history, from SM Entertainment. Got casted by Isuman himself and debuted at August 2000. Also debuted in Japan. Critics state Boa is one of the biggest contributors and pioneer in opening foreign markets for K-pop K-pop and SM. Boa gets to get all these first, youngest, most, blah 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 titles and rewrites K-pop history. Other solo artists also kept the K-pop flame burning with competitions such as Rain and Seven. Speaking of Rain, let's get back to JYP. Park Jin-young, aka JYP, is this dude that was active during the Sutaji era as well. Initially got refused numerous times from labels due to his weird face and body, but finally debuts in 1994 as a solo artist. Tale is, SM himself rejects JYP from an audition, but later asks in private just because he wants to buy songs JYP produced. JYP is extremely talented in dancing and also being sexy, which was a first for a male at that time. Won many #1s during the era even with the competition with Sutaji and Kids. Became a singer-songwriter and producer and made hit songs like Honey and Swing Baby. With that experience, goes on as a producer, producing G.O.D, once called the Nations Group, and also excavates Park Ji-yoon, who sang Adult Ceremony, also produced by JYP. And in the midst of that, makes his own company, JYP Entertainment. Back to Rain. Rain was a backdancer of JYP and Park Ji-yoon. JYP trained Rain and debuted him, also giving him many hit songs like How to Avoid the Sun and It's Raining. Boa from SM, Rain from JYP, Seven from YG. This is when we start to see the three companies grow and become the now known big three of K-pop, SM, JYP, YG. Another fun fact about the 1.5 generation is that many solo artists tried their luck after disbanding from the first generation groups, like Kangta, Pada, Okjuyeon, Eunjiwon. However, to be honest, their popularity wasn't like before. Except maybe Iori, former Finkel member that was least popular among the members, but suddenly pops up with a sexy solo debut and becomes Korea's diva. Finally, it's second gen. The idol groups are back, and the public is used to the word idol. SM Entertainment introduces TVXQ in 2004. They get the Rookie Awards, actually all the awards. Gets a Daesang on their second debut year, and gets a Grand Slam in 2006, another Grand Slam in 2008, Oricon chart #1 in Japan. It's not a stretch to say they basically conquered Korea, Japan, and China. SM got rich. They make more groups like Super Junior in 2005, Girls' Generation in 2007, Shiny, and FX in 2009. Super Junior becomes extremely popular with songs like Sorry Sorry in China and Southeast Asia. Girls' Generation becomes the nation's girl group with their stunning visuals and charmful songs like Kissing You and Baby Baby. They don't stop with Korea. They go off to conquer Japan with their songs G, Genie, and O, bringing all those titles from Japan charts and album sales. Shiny puts out super addictive songs like Juliet, Ring Ding Dong, Lucifer, and achieves attention from mostly Japan and Southeast Asia, eventually touring all around these areas. FX shows the experimental side of SM. They carry a unique concept with all of their songs with obscure lyrics. Their unique electronic songs get very positive reactions from professional music critics. And note that we start to see non-Korean members, such as Victoria and Amber. With all these groups, SM is now all over Asia.
Okay, y'all. That was a lot of information.
It was.
Oh, I see some names in there. Shiny.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
Red Velvet.
Okay. That's neat.
Yeah. Super Junior. Okay. But it's like, I have never heard of any of those people or groups in this first half up until
LFX.
Super Junior and Girl Generation area. That's the only part. And then I started, yeah, but I never heard of any of those people, or I never knew how it started and all that. It was interesting. It's like ballads seem like they're never going anywhere, but that's interesting.
But all right, y'all know what to do. Like this, like button up, so we can get part 2. Cause I'm ready to get into our generation.
Me too.